Okay, by that I mean the directions need to make sense to you. The steps need to make sense to you. Okay, so label equations, solve equation for solve equation 1 or 2 for y. Okay, and you're going to end up with y equals and this stuff. Plug in this stuff everywhere there's a y into the other equation. Okay, solve for x, and then you're going to plug that back in. Okay, now, so edit these instructions as we go. If you're like, I don't follow what she's talking about. Okay, edit it. Okay, so just by following the steps, okay, we're going to write 1 and 2 by our equations. We have equation 1 and equation 2. We're going to solve equation 1 or 2 for y equals. Okay, well today these are kind of already set up for you. I have one as y equals. Okay, so keep in mind that we're using equation 2. Okay, and then it says to kind of circle this and plug it into everywhere there's a y in the other equation. Okay, so we're really plugging this in up into the other equation everywhere there's a y. Okay, so that's what we're kind of doing. So now it says to solve for x. Okay, so I got negative x plus 3. Well, there's a y, and we no longer use y. We're using 4x plus 8 equals negative 9. Okay, and so we're trying to solve for x, and we have to really use our order of operations. So we're going to need to distribute. Okay, so I got negative x plus 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 8.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Could you restate the question?
Nobody's talking to you, Siri. You scared the shit out of me. Oh my God. About had a heart attack. Okay, 3 times 4 is 24. And then I got negative 9.
I was a kid for a minute.
Dude, it's like my heart stopped for a minute. You guys know how jumpy I get. Like, scared the crap out of me. Oh, I forgot x right here. It should be 12x. Okay, so now all I did was distribute. So I got negative x plus 12x plus 24 equals negative 9. Okay, so we're going to combine our like terms. And so this is where I was really telling you, you can really throw in lots of steps. Okay, distribute, combine like terms, add or subtract the kid, multiply or divide. Okay, there's lots of other steps that go in here. I wrote the basic gen ed steps because you should know like how to solve the equations from here. Okay, so negative 1x, I'm going to write a 1 here, plus 12x is going to give me 11x plus 24 equals negative 9. Okay, then we need to subtract 24 from both sides. So I got 11x equals, okay, and I got negative 9 minus 24 is negative 33. And then our very last step is going to be to divide both sides by 11. So I got x equals negative 3, and we're going to circle this. We have solved for x equals. We're still here on this step, okay? Now it says then to plug x into the y equation, and that's going to be the one you circled way up here. So we're going to plug this x in all the way up here where there's an x. Okay, so it's very important that you're using alternate equations. You'll use equation 1 and then equation 2 and then equation 1. Okay, you have to use them in the correct order, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, you can't just plug them in random orders. Okay, so now we can plug this x in all the way up here at y. So I got y equals 4, and instead of x, 4 instead of x is going to be negative 3 plus 8x, or just 8, sorry. Okay, so 4 times negative 3, okay, it's going to give me y equals negative 12 plus 8. Okay, negative 12 plus 8 is going to be negative 4. we're done-ish. Okay, so how you write these out for like your legitimate answer is going to be -3, -4. Okay, it's a coordinate system. X is 3, -3, and Y is -4. Okay, and those of you guys that write really sloppy or really huge, you need to tone it down a little bit and or do it on a piece of paper. Okay. The main thing, if you get a decimal, I can tell you right now that you saw wrong somewhere on your math. Okay. If you get a decimal, you need to recheck your steps, recheck your work, because something's not right. Okay. You should be getting whole numbers for these. Okay, and I think that every answer I specifically put as a whole number. I did. Okay, so every answer should be a whole number. None of these should be a fraction. None of these should be a decimal. Okay, but it's very important for you to follow the steps in order for it to work and be alternating those equations. If you keep using the same equation, you're not going to get anywhere. It's just like a big loop.
So what kind of careers use this?
Every career. Neither one of them are here. Let's see what I can do. Now, I know it sounded like a sarcastic answer, Tristan. However, all of those word problems that we were really doing the other day, those are like legitimate real world situations for any type of business people trying to figure out how much money they make on a consistent average basis. You would have to do these. I'm just doing the algebra part without the word problem because you really need to get used to the steps before we try to do these in word problems because kids just struggle with word problems. But that is the truth. Where are you going to do it like this in the real world? No, you're going to do it by the way that you know and try to figure it out, average it out, calculate it out, rather than the algebraic steps, okay? So let's look at number 3, okay? I wish I could like copy and paste this. So my very first step is to label, okay? And then it says solve equation 1 or 2 for y. Okay, so we're going to label. I got equation 1 and equation 2. We're going to solve one of them for y. Okay, well, one of them is already solved for y. Okay, this bottom one. Okay, and then it says, really to circle it, and it says plug in everywhere there is a y into the other equation. So on this one, we're going to circle this and we're going to plug it into the other equation. So you're going to swoop it up here. Okay, so I'm going to have -2x minus, and now there's a y. So I got 4x plus 9 equals 3. Okay, same thing. We got to distribute and then combine like terms. We're distributing a -1 everywhere. So it's going to be -2x. -1 times 4 is going to be -4x. -1 times +9 is going to be -9 equals 3. Okay, I can combine like terms. So I got a -2 and a -4 is going to give me -6x minus 9 equals 3. Okay, we're going to add 9 to both sides. So I got -6x equals 12. And then I'm going to divide by -6. Divide by -6. So x equals -2. Okay, so we've solved for x. Every time after we solve for x, you plug it into whatever you circled into one of these other equations. So it's going to get plugged in way up here. Okay, and so that's going to be y equals 4. And instead of x, we know what x is now. Well, x is -2 plus 9. Okay, so that's going to be y equals -8 plus 9. Okay, which is going to be y equals 1. Okay, so we've solved for x and y. And then our very last step is to write these in coordinates. And it should be x comma y. So your answer is really -2, 1.